I am the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So today we're going to do a whole lot of firsts and a whole lot of very different things that I'm normally used to. Today we're going to do a crusade game, which involves me putting two armies of 50 power level each against each other, and I'm only going to really pay attention to one of them, but I'll be recording all of the wins and losses for one of the armies, and they may gain experience points at the end of it, but they'll go on and do other kind of crusade games and build up their forces, hopefully, as we go into the further of the experience. For another first, we're going to do this Necron against Necron. I've played a real life game against another person who was also playing Necrons, and I did win that game. I'm going to win out of the way here since it's just me, but I do have a preference, I guess. This is a lich for use in my D&D campaigns. It was a super major pain in my ass to paint. It's probably not the best paint job I've ever done, but it is what it is. So the mission I rolled was supply cache. So we're going to be playing on this cemetery board. There is a 20-inch no man's land, I guess, in between the two. I'm playing on a 4-foot board, so that's a 14-inch designated by the yellow die deployment zone on each side. And then for over there, I guess it's hard to see the yellow die. Each side plays out an objective marcher each, twice, 6 inches away from the edge of the board, more than 6 inches away from each other. And then at the beginning of each person's command phase after the first round, you get 10 victory points if you control at least one objective, control an objective in the opponent's deployment zone, and control or control more objective markers. So you can get up to 30 possible victory points, 10 for each one of those. Starting on the second turn, you can get the victory points. We're only going to do 5 rounds. So we'll take a look at the armies here. We'll start with the army that I would prefer to win, the one that I'm going to be following their kills and losses. These guys are 50 power level of necrons. We have an overlord, my warlord. He's got a resurrection orb and void reaper as a relic. He has enduring will as the warlord trait, which reduces his damage by 1 to a minimum of 1. He has a technomancer with him. 3 5-man squads of immortals with Tesla carbines. 2 identical squads of heavy destroyers, one with a Gauss destructor and one with an Enmitic exterminator. And then a 6-man squad of Scorpec destroyers. 4 with the... God, I can never remember. It's like 4 with the Reaper and 2 with the Thresher, or 2 with the Reaper and 4 with the Thresher, but it's 4 and 2. But yeah, there's 50 power level right there. So this will be the 50 power level Necron opponents that I'm not massively worried about their wins or losses. I want them to do well because they're Necrons, but They also have an Overlord. He just has a Void Scythe, a Res Orb. He will also have Enduring Will, mostly so I don't have to worry about looking stuff up or remembering extra stuff. He's going to have a Lord who also has a Resurrection Orb. 3 10-man squads of Necron Warriors with the Gauss Reaper. 10-man squad of Flayed Ones. A 3 creature squad of Wraiths with Particle Casters and Vicious Claws. 3 Tomb Blades with twin Tesla carbines, and they all have shield vanes and nebula scopes, so they have a 3-up save and stuff they shoot at doesn't get the benefit of a cover save. And then we have an Annihilation Barge with a Gauze Cannon. So there's another 50 power level of necrons. I'm going to set up deployment, set up the markers, and we'll start the game. As a minor correction here, these Scorpex, 2 of them have Hyperphase Reap Blades, and the other 4 have Hyperphase Threshers. Got their weapon problem sorted out. So everybody is happily deployed, properly markered up, objective markers placed. So for the side that we're following, the little orange yellow dice behind them differentiate which ones they are, because I got to keep track of which individual grouping kills what, if anything. So we got heavy destroyers here, Technomancer, Immortals, the Scorpex, more Immortals, the Overlords over here, even more Immortals hanging out on this objective marker, and then the other group of heavy destroyers. And then their other objective marker is right there. For the other side, race up on the hill, Warriors, Annihilation Barge, Lord, more Warriors hanging out with one of their objectives. Blade one's behind them on the hill. Overlord next to the objective marker. Tomb Blades kind of over here. And the other Necron Warriors up on this hill. Their other objective marker is on the corner of this hill over here. Alright, I gotta double check a few things really quick, and then we'll be getting into this. Alright, so the Necrons over here. I won the roll off to see who goes first. These Necrons failed to steal, so these guys get to go first. I will take the yellow deployment marker dice things off the board here, and we'll start with these Necrons and movement. The heavy destroyers on either side here just moved up to regular 8. These Necrons are just going to hang out on top of the objective marker, and everybody else advanced forward. No Catan, so no Catan phase, so Necron shooting phase. I do love the Necron shooting phase, and I'm going to like it even more, I think, when I'm shooting against Necrons. These 2 heavy destroyers, one of them killed a warrior, and the other one killed a tomb blade. These 2 heavy destroyers did 2 points of damage to these wraiths. Nobody else is in shooting range. Nobody is definitely in charging range, so it goes on over to the other Necron turn. Movement. Much like the other side, a lot of these guys advanced. These warriors advanced way, way up here. The flayed ones just kind of advanced over. The 2 remaining tomb blades just moved up here because they go fast. The Overlord gave my will be done to these guys for no apparent reason, but nobody over here is moving. The Warriors and the Lord both advanced up around that side. The Wraiths advanced down off of the... no. The Wraiths just moved. The Annihilation Barge advanced. A crazy advance at that. Like, oh, here I am. Yeah, the Wraiths just moved off of the hill. No Catan. So again, it's like I got to do my favorite phase twice in the same game. A whole lot of times. Necron shooting. These Wraiths managed to do a point of damage to these heavy destroyers. These Tomb Blades killed an Immortal, but it reanimated. The joys of fighting your own faction. Everybody has the living metal thing where they gain, everybody gains a health. Everybody pretty much can reanimate. It's going to be a fun time. So having said that, these wraiths are going to charge into these destroyers. So the Wraiths suffered a single point of damage in Overwatch and did not make their distance. So that'll be the end of round 1. So we'll go into round 2, where victory points actually start to matter. So it becomes this Necron grouping's turn. Everybody who's damaged regains a point of health, which would be these guys. Let's see, I control 1 in my own objective thingy. So since this side has 1 or more objectives, it gets 10 victory points. It doesn't control the one over there, way over there. It doesn't control that one, and it doesn't have more than the enemy, so it only gets to 10. Alright, so now that that's settled, then we'll do this side movement. I doubt these guys are ever going to move. They're pretty much just holding this objective marker, hoping that nobody ever tries to come after it. These heavy destroyers are just going to hang out here. The Overlord just moved up. Gorpek destroyers all moved up onto the edge of the hill here, and these Immortals advanced way up to the top. These Immortals advanced way over here and are standing on the objective marker. Technomancer not far behind them. And these destroyers are just going to hang out here as well. Yay! Necron shooting, the best phase. These Immortals killed one of these Wraiths up. These heavy destroyers did a couple points of damage to another Wraith. These Immortals shot at the Annihilation Barge and failed horribly on wounding. These Immortals tried to shoot these Tomb Blades and failed horribly on wounding. These destroyers, the one on the left, didn't really do much of anything. He tried really hard to shoot at these warriors, but yeah, they actually saved. The one on the right, the Gauss Destructor, killed the Tomb Blade, and it didn't reanimate. Charge phase, there will indeed be a charge phase. The Scorpec Destroyers are charging into the Annihilation Barge. That was super ridiculous. So the Annihilation Barge killed 2 of the Destroyers in Overwatch. One with the Gauss cannon and the other with the Twin Tesla Destructor. And then the Scorpex turned around and just mauled the Annihilation Barge and killed it. But then it exploded, doing a point of damage to them. That was super cray. That'll take us on over to the other Necron turn. So for their command phase, they have 1 of their own. They don't control 1 in the enemy, and they don't have more than the other side, so they also only get 10 victory points. And then we'll slide into Necron movement. So the Wraiths just moved forward a lot to hopefully not fail their charge this time. The Warriors all advanced up, taking on that objective marker. The Lord just also advanced up. These Warriors are just going to hang out here and hold on to this objective. The Overlord advanced way up here. The Flayed ones also advanced. These Warriors just walked up, and this Tomb Blade penetrated deep into enemy territory, but I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. So Necron shooting. These Warriors killed off one of these heavy destroyers and put the other one down to 1 health. So the Tomb Blade just finished off the last heavy destroyer here, so they're completely dead. The Wraiths shot at the heavy destroyers and failed to wound. And these Warriors killed one of these Scorpex and did a lot of damage to another one. These Wraiths are going to charge into these heavy destroyers. So the Wraiths took no damage in Overwatch and then just mauled of the heavy destroyers. There's nothing left of them. That was fun. So that makes it the end of round 2. So we'll go to round 3. These guys is command phase. They have 2. They have 1 or more. They do not have more than the enemy, and they do not have any in the enemy's zone. So they get another 10 victory points. Not seeing any. Nope. So we'll give living metal to a unit so they can gain the health back, and then we'll get into Necron movement. We'll start with the unit that never moves. The Overlord just moves over to challenge these wraiths. Both the Scorpex and the Immortals have moved forward to take on the Warriors on the other objective marker. And the Technomancer and Immortals are just going to hold this objective marker. Necron shooting. Yay! Always lots of exciting stuff that happens here. These guys killed off the 2 remaining wraiths that were right there. These Immortals killed 2 of those warriors. These Immortals killed the 9 warriors that were over here. And then the Technomancer did a point of damage to the Tomb Blade with his Staff of Light. So that'll take us to the charge phase. I was going to have the Overlord charge into the wraiths, but they're not there anymore. But these Scorpex are for sure charging into those warriors. So the warriors killed one of the Scorpex in Overwatch, and then lost 3 warriors. The Scorpex killed 3 warriors, and then didn't take any damage in the retaliatory fighting. Yeah, that'll take us over to the other Necron turn. I don't see any wounded guys over there, so nobody needs to worry about living metal. They have control of 1 or more. They do not control 1 in my zone. They do not control more than me, so 10 victory points to them, and we'll go into movement. These warriors are just going to hang out on the objective and try and hold it. The Lord has jumped up here to help them do that. This Tomb Blade is kind of circling around to try and attack these Immortals over here. The Flayed Ones advanced down off the hill, and the Overlord just moved up. We'll go into this side's Necron shooting. Looking around, I think the Tomb Blade's the only thing that can shoot. The Tomb Blade killed one of these Immortals, and it did not reanimate. So nobody's really close enough for a charge. I don't want to try and charge with the Overlord over there. Oh no, that's a lie. The Lord's gonna charge into the Scorpex. Forgot about the Lord. So the Lord failed to wound anybody. The Warriors also failed to wound anybody. And the 3 wounds that the Scorpex managed to get onto the Warriors actually managed to roll 6s to save on. I forgot how annoying it is to play Necron dice when I'm using Necron dice against other Necrons. My dice just love me. Yeah, so that'll be the end of their turn. So we'll go to round 4. I have 2 not in the deployment zone, not more than them, so 10 more victory points to this side, putting them to 30. Nobody's really wounded. Well done. Heal the 1 wound on the Scorpex, and then we'll do Necron movement. So the perennial always in the same place, guys, right here. The Overlord has moved up on the hill with an eye towards these guys. The Technomancer went further up the hill. These guys are just going to hang out here. And the Scorpex fell back, coming off of the hill. So that'll take us to the shooting phase. So these guys managed to do a point of damage to the Tomb Blade that was here. And then the back 2 of these Immortals killed off the Tomb Blade. The front 3 Immortals killed off one of the Warriors. These Immortals killed off one of the Flayed Ones. That'll do it for shooting. The Overlord's going to charge into the Lord. The Overlord did not suffer any Overwatch. Made it in and then killed the Lord. That'll take us on over to the other Necron side. see anybody over there that's wounded, so they control 2. Not on my side, not more than me. So they also get 10 victory points. Then we'll do some Necron movement. Even with death staring them in the face in the form of an overlord with a void scythe, these warriors are not going to move. The overlord over here has hopped up on the hill to take these guys on. The flayed ones have moved over to the base of the hill to charge up, which is always fun. These warriors are just going to hang out here. Necron shooting. There's a whole lot of shooting, I think. Well, no, there's really not. Now that I look around, there's only 2 units left that can shoot. These warriors killed one of the Scorpex and did a point of damage to the other one. And then these warriors on the objective marker killed 3 of these immortals. It was pretty terrible. Charge phase. Yeah, that's going to be the Overlord and these flayed ones into these immortals. The flayed ones charged in first and took no damage in Overwatch, so the Overlord made it in also. And yeah, the flayed ones killed all of the immortals. I'm super sad. That's puts it up to the last round. They have 1. They don't have 1 on the opponent's side, and they don't have more, so I only get 10 victory points for this one. And we'll go into movement. The Scorpic Destroyer just moved over here to try and kill off some of these warriors. And the Cryptek just moved behind these flayed ones. Necron shooting. So these 2 immortals killed 3 of these warriors. The Technomancer shot a spear light at the flayed ones and didn't do anything. Those 4 immortals way over there also shot at the flayed ones and didn't do anything. So we'll get into the charge phase, which is a lot. The Technomancer is going to charge into the flayed ones. The Scorpic Destroyer is going to charge into these warriors. And the Overlord over there is going to charge into these warriors. So everybody made their charges. The Overlord absolutely murdered the warriors that were over there. The Scorpic killed off 4 of these warriors here and suffered no damage in return. The Cryptek, on the other hand, killed off the flayed one. I said Cryptek. It is a Technomancer. It's been a while. They changed the model on me. I don't. Either way, a Technomancer. He made it in. He killed the flayed one, but the flayed ones killed him in return. Good times. Alright, so that'll make it the other Necron's turn for the last turn, I do believe. I'll have to look. Alright, so the Necrons on this side control 1 objective, not 1 on the enemy zone, and not more than the other person, so I get 10. So, movement. So these warriors just fell back to get close to the objective marker. This will be the last Necron shooting phase, so these warriors did a couple points of damage to that Scorpic. Really nobody else, man. They don't have any other shooters. So that makes it the end of the game. So at the end of the game, both sides have 40 points. So I guess it's a draw. I know that at the end of this mission I get 2 requisition points instead of 1. Alright, so after everything is all said and done, all of my units, all 8 of my units in my current listing here, all gaining experience. I had 2 agendas, Reaper and Survivor. So the unit that killed the most units got 2 experience for Reaper. That would be the Overlord, so he gained 2 experience for that. My other agenda was Survivor. I chose my Scorpic Destroyers, and as long as they didn't completely die, then they got 2 experience. If they were at more than half strength, then they got 2 more experience. only one Scorpack survived, so they just get the 2. But I also gave them Marked for Greatness, which gave them another 3 experience, putting them at 6. So the Scorpacks get a battle trait. Gave them Unstoppable, so they'll have plus 2 inches to their movement and plus 1 inch to advance and charge. So yeah, Necron, the good Necrons. Well, I guess nobody really won, you know. I mean, ultimately, yeah, the Necrons won because they were both Necrons, but it was a tie victory point wise. That was certainly interesting and super fun. Probably have to set another one of these up, maybe against the Night Lords. I don't know. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you watching. This was definitely an interesting and new, fun experience for me. And it was super weird to fight against other Necrons since Reanimation kicked in a whole lot of times. Yeah, not sure when I'll do the next Crusade game, but at some point here in the future. Have a good morning if morning is where you are. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.